Welcome, fellow classmates, to our first assignment presentation. My name is Sean Meehan, and I'm going to discuss two innovative technologies, one that is currently very well known, and another that was an innovative failure that occurred several decades ago. Okay, so the first innovation, which I'm sure you guys will all recognize, is the Apple iPhone, which has become a colossal success. It's relatively recent technology. It's only been around since 2007. However, it's currently on its fifth iteration. Having said that, next I will explain why the Apple iPhone is such an innovative success. So there are four reasons why the Apple iPhone is such a success, and I've tied them to Professor James Bright's tactics of innovation. The first is the notion of seemingly simple and small steps. So what worked well with the iPhone is that from a cellular perspective, it operated in much the same way as any other mobile device. But where it differed was the amount of gadgets that it replaced and its users' functionality. Since the iPhone was a touchscreen, the user didn't really have to learn any new complex commands. All one would had to do was simply touch the screen on what they wanted to do. Secondly is compatible fit. So the iPhone didn't really invent any new technologies or processes. It simply brought a whole bunch of gadgets and married them together. So the Apple iPhone replaced kind of people's mobile phones, daytimers or PDAs, GPS navigation systems, cameras, and personal music devices, just to name a few, all kind of in a nice stylish little package. Thirdly was the idea of a credible messenger in Steve Jobs. So Jobs was kind of the pioneer for Apple in its early days, and kind of upon his return to the company began creating innovation after innovation well and long before the release of the iPhone. Lastly is the idea of upside yes, downside no. So the upside was that the iPhone's ease of use and the amount of gadgets that the iPhone could replace in a home, while the only real downside was being that it is a mobile phone, it was no more or no less reliable than any other phone on the market. So Cinerama is the innovation that I chose to represent failure. Now, as you can see here, Cinerama was a film projecting process that utilized 3 film projectors basically to display a movie on a much larger and much more curved screen, creating a greater immersion experience for the patron. Next, I will explain why this was such an innovative failure. So there are 3 reasons why Cinemara failed, and again, I've tied them to the tactics of innovation. So firstly is reliability, and kind of as I'd previously showed you guys in the previous slide, the process was based on having 3 separate projectors displaying the movie onto a screen. And what this required was an immense amount of synchronicity between the 3 projectionists, or the movie would have been off, which was more oftentimes the case. Secondly is seemingly simple small steps. So because the movie required 3 projectors versus the standard 1, a lot of the theaters would have had to basically retrofit their buildings to accommodate the new 3 projector system, which when balanced with the potential of the technology kind of just never seemed worth it. Finally is upside yes, downside no. So the upside obviously was a much better movie experience. However, because it was so extremely unreliable, the downside was more often than not that the movie would have been out of sync and basically just terrible to watch. Okay, so that concludes my presentation on innovative technology. If anyone has any questions, I look forward to answering them for you. Otherwise, I will see you all for our next assignment. Thank you for listening.